Yeah, it's a strange time to be alive, right? I guess I maybe waited too long there and I lost a couple people. All right, so here's what I want to talk about this morning. Um, before I go into the what's going on here on this screenshot that I'm showing you, this is a screenshot from the show that I did. It's titled Super Soldier Investigations. Where's Harmony Montgomery? I was discussing a couple of things, and I find it the reason why I am really harping on this particular topic when it comes to Lee Veltman and some of the activity that took place in my chat room that day. The reason why, I mean, it would be different if the show that I was talking about didn't have anything to do with certain individuals that are in what we call this community, right? That CW Chanter says the UFO community, this group of people that, you know, we congregate and we make videos, and you know, we're kind of busting people right now, right? We're kind of busting people that in our own community that we actually maybe were a part of or believed. I mean, like when I say Carrie Cassidy, you guys know who I'm talking about. When I say Miles Johnston, you know who I'm talking about. When I say Simon Parks, we all know these people. We all know them. And, you know, there are other channels. Like, for example, I just became aware of Paranormal Hood more. I'd seen Jonacide tweet about Paranormal Hood. I believe maybe he's been on it a few times too. And I never really, had watched it yet. I had watched it a couple of days right before Jiggy passed away, and I didn't know who he was. But I know that a lot of our community, all right, is mourning his loss. And so I just want to take a moment to pay respects to him and everybody else in the grieving of your loss. I actually looked him up a little bit and found that he had done had a series on Amazon, had a couple of episodes up, which is really impressive. I mean, that's impressive to see this particular media cross over to the mainstream media like that. But it's not the first time. It's not the first time that, that has happened, right? I mean, there is a crossover between mainstream media and this particular media, or this YouTube grouping. And, this particular media has also birthed BooAnon, all right? And there's parts of people there's players in this media still perpetuating it. And this is the media that, started talking about things that were happening to children and trafficking of children. And, if we really want to get woo about everything, and go into the super soldier aspect of it, I just showed a video of James Casbolt, like his last video that he did. And what was he talking about in 2014? What was he talking about? So this particular media, if you want to say, well, who started it, or where did this come out, or what happened, or what's the truth of it? It's been talked about from the very beginning, almost, right? And what bothers me about us right now is that, and I'm going to say it's cognitive dissonance. It's when, like, let's say, and I think maybe sometimes we throw that term around like as if we know what it is exactly. But I'm taking persuasion speech, and cognitive dissonance is basically, just to make sure that I get the terminology right. Let's say you're a vegan, but you go out and you buy a pair of leather shoes that you think are just really hot. You have to have it. It doesn't matter that it's actually, a slaughtered animal because it's a pair of shoes that you want. And yet you're not going to eat any dairy or meat or anything like that. And you're going to be strict. That's cognitive dissonance. When you're okay with buying the shoes with the freaking leather, you have cognitive dissonance. Now, you might rationalize it. There's many steps that people take. Like, oh, well, like you can't be perfect. I get once in a while you got to, blow things off or, whatever. There's, various bolstering, transcendence. There's different levels of, dealing with information that you have a conflict over. And yet in the end, a lot of times cognitive dissonance you can change your mind with it. You can make more peace with how you feel that something that does not agree with you. You can make peace with that. And I bring that up because it came to my attention, and I've done a few videos about it, about a man named Bill Brockbrader, who was on Carrie Cassidy's show, also underneath the name Bill Wood, who also goes underneath this super soldier stuff, that actually molested a 10-year-old. And he was convicted for it. And he's failed to register as a sex offender. And yet, some of you guys, and this really makes me like, I don't know how, I'm trying to find the right word for it. It's beyond disgust to me. That you can just, you can have even more Brockbrader go on, and Miles Johnston twice put one video on private and the other one not, she's out there making excuses for her husband, telling people on Miles' show that, John Walsh, see, here's the deal. Bill Brockbrader was featured on John Walsh's In Pursuit. And, a lot of you guys in my chat throw around the Johnny Gosh and all this kind of stuff and the Finders people and everything else. Well, then you should know who John Walsh is and that he's done America's Most Wanted, and his son Adam Walsh was beheaded. Huge case. Big, acts have been put into law because of it. And Bill Brockbrader, somebody from our community, somebody from the super soldier, whatever, that was birthed from Carrie Cassidy, is featured on that show as a fugitive for failing to register as a sex offender. And you guys just sit there and you're okay with it. You're okay with it. And I have said stuff over and over and over again and said, hey, you really think that that's okay? You can sit around, like even more Brockbrader can sit there and say, praise Jesus and all this stuff, and then act like, you're saving children. And you want, and people like Lauren Pritchard, who is praising her too, because, she trashed Sarah and that's all she cares about. And she can run around at the border trying to save children. And you're going to ignore the fact that somebody who is in this community, and I don't know who F Graph 72 is, but you better cough up and not be Hoaxstead. Oh, you feel snack time with Terry, good vibes. I'm sorry, I'm really sensitive right now, and I'm not. And good evening, Charles. And you know what? I might have blocked people. You might have just said something that you didn't mean to be, like you're crazy, and you didn't mean like you're crazy, but you meant crazy like in a loving way. Like I can't. It's hard to read. It's hard to read people's real intention when you just read the words. That's the problem with social media. Like I can't hear your intonation. I can't see your facial expressions. Just like right now I'm not showing my face. You can hear the tone of my voice. I'm glad you think this is good vibes because I don't feel like I have a good, I don't feel good inside. Like I'm not calm. I've been upset. I woke up feeling like, oh, you know what? Hi. I woke up feeling like, you know what am I doing this for? Like it's almost like it's painful for me. The experience of YouTube right now is painful for me. What, like I go to school and I have a lot to do and I spend extra time on this and it's disrupted me. And I'm thinking, well, what am I doing it for? If this is the shit that I have to deal with. And then I thought, no, there's a purpose. Just take one day at a time. Don't let them stop me. Don't let someone like Lee Veltman piss all over my chat with people and disrupt stuff and make me feel bad and feel like I don't have a right to be creative or I don't feel like I have the energy to be creative. All right. So yeah, I was talking about, let's get back to the point here. I was talking about Bill Brockbrader. And you know what, guys? I don't see any one of you really stepping up to the plate and talking about things like this that are existing in this community. And I find the fact that if you can just sit back and and go, oh, well, hey, Eva, oh, thank you, Miles. Oh, yeah, you guys, oh, this is great information. And not actually like take into account when you're told that, hey, this is bullshit. Then I don't know what to say to you right now. Don't tell me where we go when we go all. Don't tell me that you're wanting to save children or you're interested in blank, blank, blank. You're a fucking hypocrite in my eyes. A distraction. A dummy media. Oh, let's go there. You're a LARPer. I find it really interesting that particular day on the topic that I was talking about was the day that all this shit went down in the chat. Because I wasn't just talking about Eva Marie Brockbrader, because what happened was I got tipped off to that particular video of Eva, the first one that's on private now, that you can see parts of it on my channel. I've been following this Bill Brockbrader thing, the In Pursuit show, the Don Shipley aspect of it, the Carrie Cat. I mean, I went in, I studied these things. I watched the original interview so I could process what's going down here. And yeah, it is personal to me. I was on Revolution Radio, even where Brockbrader was another host. And I got problems with what happened on Revolution Radio and what's behind that door and the players on it and the things linked to it. I don't come from the outside talking about this, where I watched a bunch of videos and blank, 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 and I got some opinion that I want to share with everybody. I was in it. I know these people. I've talked to Lee Veltman on the phone before. I've had Lee Veltman just show up in a Google chat with fucking Freddie, not expecting him to be there. Lee Veltman has been circulating around me for a while now. And we're not talking just like last show. We're talking 2018. And I don't think it's normal. And I'm over it. And you know what? You want to come on my channel and make messages like, oh, you're crazy? No, you're fucking crazy. Oh, I make this shit up. It's not happening. I'm just a drama queen. Nobody's targeting me. Nobody's harassing me. I cannot believe the level of harassment that has come from this community, from the hosts, from the people you donate to. And then they want to come out and say, oh, I'm healing you, or I'm giving you a psychic reading. Or I've got wisdom to impart for you to listen to. That is the biggest one that gets me. You think you've got spiritual advice for people. I don't know what Lee Veltman's problem is. But I'll tell you what, you should look around on the internet and see other people's interviews or shows about him, because they're not favorable. And I'm going to go through this, really quickly here on this particular graphic, because there's some things I want to point out about it, because I am processing stuff, trying to figure out what, because when you do a show, you're not paying attention to this stuff in your chat room. Now, let me reiterate again, the show is mainly about a little girl who was lost named Harmony Montgomery. I showed some footage from the Boston police. She's been missing for 2 years, and she was tipped off by DCYF like 2 years before that, and nobody did anything about it. The mom said on national television, and I've shown this in video footage later, thinks that the father, she was not she wasn't married to him, but she thinks he was in custody of her, and she thinks that he sold her. That's what she says. Now, is that true? We don't know. But it's interesting that people like Due Diligence right here at the very bottom above Steve Ronan, that is Lee Veltman. Now, it looks like Lee Veltman, after I did my show yesterday, actually put his name on that profile. Like Due Diligence Lee Veltman, right? That's Lee Veltman right in that chat room. And I have blocked. See, why does this matter? Well, because I blocked him. Everywhere. And yet, there he is, sneaking in on a show. All of a sudden, as of lately, Lee Veltman has been back. There was a time where, I didn't hear from him, whatever. He kind of dropped off. I saw other people's chat rooms. He's always in, I don't know what happened. I don't know why he's not in CW's chat room, or I don't know why he's not in Steve Cambion's chat room anymore. I don't know. Maybe they kicked him out. I don't know what the real story is. But I got wind that he was in my chats recently. Mr. Pickle, this and that. I even had interaction with him on my show, and I didn't know it was him. And you know what? Angela Power Disney showed up that day. Angela Power Disney showed up that day. I find that to be kind of odd, really, because Angela and I have had a falling out. I'm not sure about Angela. I've always felt like lately, I'm not sure. I think there are people in this media that are, I don't know, they may not be as honest as you think they are. That's all I'm just going to say it that way. That maybe they're there for a distraction reason, to make everything look crazy, to make it look like, blank, blank, blank. And then you got people, I cannot believe the level of harassment that the some things that people have said about Lee Veltman. Trying to get a girl's number, won't leave her alone, asking other people to give him the number. You think, you guys, is that normal for you? I mean, like some of you have said, "Oh, I like, he's a good guy. I listen to him." You know, Steve Ronan, you were watching Jolly Bridgeburner and Lee. Are you okay with that? Are you okay the way they ridicule people? I saw videos where they were like, again, they were talking about suicide trolling. Oh, that's a new term for me. Suicide trolling. Wow. Because I'll tell you something. As much as you people think that I get, sometimes I get, oh, you want to make me sound like I'm crazy. You want to say, oh, you want to put the crazy thing, the crazy label on me. Actually, I'm really strong. I got a really good sense of self. I've taken national rejection. I put it out there I'm fearless in that. Honestly, deep down, I really don't give a fuck what you think about me. Because I know who I am. But if I wasn't a person like that, what if I suffered from depression, like clinical depression? I don't, but what if I did? What if one day somebody just, even the strongest person has one bad thing happen after the next, and then they come here, they go on and they have someone like a Lee Veltman and a Jolly Bridgeburner talking shit about them on a channel and laughing and making jokes and being like bullies in high school. And what if that person decided to end their life that day? And then they threw around terms like, oh, it's suicide trolling. Wow. You guys are almost like psychological sick fuckers that want to inflict emotional pain on other people. There's a difference between being a Stephen Cambion and analyzing and picking apart the authenticity of people who claim to do magical things and outlandish information that I guess we're just supposed to all swallow up. Oh, that's real woke, isn't it? What Lee Veltman is doing is cruel. It's creepy. It's inappropriate online. And in my opinion, it's considered cyber stalking and cyberbullying. And guess what? There are other people that do it along with him. So, and we can go on about what the reasons are, but let's just do a little snapshot of this one. I'm talking about a missing child, and Lee Veltman and other people are attracted to it right away. That maybe, I haven't talked to in a while. Maybe that title did interest Angela Perry or Disney. But look what happened. Stephen Ronan, do you mean LNJ? Okay, now I understand who he's talking about. He's talking about Lee and Jolly Bridgeburner. So Stephen Ronan already knows about them. And I think he pretty much, didn't you admit to me, Stephen Ronan, the other day when I talked to you that you knew that Lee was in my chat that day? So you know what their dummy profiles are. You know a lot of information. Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, I'm going to say it now. Charles from Project Camelot says the other dungeon duo, Steven, the ones pretending to work on legal cases. So apparently, Jolly Bridge Burner, I've learned, says that she's a lawyer that's protected child cases and all this kind of stuff. So another thing that we're talking about here, it's very interesting, like, CPS and child cases and this and that, blah, blah, blah. This particular case has to do with DCYF fucking up. And it's a political thing. Oh, look it up, guys. Then I think the governor has come out and talked about it, or the mayor. I mean, it's like, it's a political thing, a big criticism. The DCYF has egg on their face, and there's a crack in the mirror. There's a crack in the case. Something's going on here. How did this happen to this little girl? All right. Another thing that's happening around this, and this is the reason why I brought it up, it's not just drama that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that there's another person in our community whose real name is Deborah Director, who's really an actress. She was in a movie called In the Bedroom. And that's also why I was doing this video today, because I discovered that, or I finally, admitted to myself I wanted to talk about it, that she has tons of different profiles on Facebook, just like these guys do, just like Lee Veltman does. And she's got this big claim to fame in our community because she talks about Max. Oh, Max is, here's this psychic that, is channeling him, and this is his message for us. Oh, she's done those shows. She was featured in the BBC documentary, again, about Max Spears, again, crossing over to the mainstream. And she's obsessed and trolling true crime chat rooms that are talking about missing little girls, and one of them being Harmony Montgomery. And I found that to be interesting. And I think it's relevant to discuss in this community that people that you may know or you think are associated, and we're all friends on Facebook and we all knew Max or whatever. Yeah, there's one of them that is doing stuff, and there was a profile called Crystal Rose Montgomery that I thought was odd. It belonged to her. I thought it was odd that the mother's name of Harmony Montgomery was Crystal, and the father's name is Montgomery. And I thought that's why she was upset. I thought these, true crime people, like, she was associated somehow. But no, she's just causing shit, a distraction in chat rooms about people talking about Harmony Montgomery. And what is Lee Veltman doing? He's creating disruption. And you too, Stephen, sorry, but look what you said right here. This is causing disruption in a chat room. This is being rude, and it's bullying other people. Okay, so let's look. Dungeon Duo. We know Jolly Bridge Burner, Stephen Ronan, Angie. You're talking to Angela, which you acted on my other video, like you leave me messages, like you acted like you hardly knew who she was. And yet my video that I did yesterday, the first people to tap onto it in my chat was you and Angela Power Disney. And to be honest with you, I find that kind of interesting because the conflict that happened in this chat happened between the two of you. Look, my video yesterday was titled Lee Veltman. I can understand why Stephen came on, but I don't really understand why Angela was attracted to that. Because now she's in the title, but I don't understand why she came in again on that video when it's really just titled about Lee Veltman and the Troll Award goes to blank. Is that a coincidence? Well, I always say, as Max said, there are no coincidences. But, hey, that's conspiracy talk, right? So Steve Ronan says Angie got an innocent person's cat murder because she thought they were wrong guns. Remember a lot? So you're poking at Angela Power Disney while I'm broadcasting. And here's the point, too, why this is going on. And another thing, I made a correlation between social services that happened there and Megan Walsh talking about social services. And I found out about Megan Walsh because Eva Moore Brockbrader, Megan Walsh is John Walsh's daughter. Eva Moore Brockbrader was trying to make an excuse that the reason why, her husband was running around, trying to expose the Adam Walsh Act. And she said that John Walsh, oh, you can see it on my channel. I still have the footage up on my channel. I am not lying about what I'm saying. She said John Walsh murdered his own son in a satanic ritual and had him beheaded himself. And Megan Walsh was working with Penny Shepard, another character in all of this, who is connected to David Zublik, who is part of those people with Mel K and Simon Parks that showed up on Asian and Indian cooking channels. And those are the shows that Megan's been on, other than Ed Opperman. And Michael Jaco took her interview down. That has to do with, she's talking about Jeffrey Epstein and her father's connection. She's talking about a lot of different things. And yet this is the show that these fuckers decide to cause shit in and distract me to stop and go, hey, I don't think Stephen Ronan is a troll. But you know what, Stephen? I know we've had a conversation on the phone. But your reaction yesterday, making that video about you when it wasn't, makes me think that maybe it is, like maybe there is something going on, number one. And then I got to look at this piece of screenshot and see that you are actually instigating and making people feel bad. See? We're going to go back to the feel bad part, because what is the fallout by what these people do? And if you guys sit around and talk about suicide trolling, then you know what you're doing. You're psychologically targeting people. What about PJ, that woman PJ? I watched a video with PJ, this lady, going on about Lee Veltman and Jolly Bridgeburner, and how they do their little thing. And then all of a sudden Lee Veltman, Lee Veltman likes to say, are you twiggered? Are you twiggered? Like basically telling the host, the YouTube personality, right, that they're just a jittery, twiggered person and it's their problem. And then you get off by triggering somebody because it's fucking funny to you. And that makes you a sick fuck, Lee Veltman. That's the part about you I don't like. So IDK said, and I don't know, I really don't know IDK. I think you've been in my chat a few times. I heard another interview with her where she said they took her kids away for mental abuse, which was her homeschooling her kids, look into conspiracies, not vaccine, etc. So IDK, and I'm not sure who you are, but you chimed in with Stephen Ronan, and did you? And obviously you must have known Angela Power Disney was there. Now, is Angela Power Disney there knowing that they're going to do that to her because that's the part she plays for everybody? Because I can't discredit. That thought does come in my mind. Because wherever Angie goes, trolls follow. It's like, I'm sorry, Angela, but you infect people with trolls. IDK, if her dad is that powerful and with the corrupt police in Florida, it's possible IMO. So I guess and see, so you can tell by this that I'm on the Megan Walsh part of the show. Okay. Steve Ronan, I'm not sure. What are their initials, Charles? So now Steven is talking to Charles because he says, do you mean L&J? Remember, L&J is Lee and Jolie Bridgeburner. I'm not sure. What are their initials? You know who the fuck they are, Steven Ronan. You know who they are. Yeah, there's a definite paranoia going on with her. Then you see from L&J, he's saying it, Lee and Jolie Bridgeburner, and then Due Diligence, who's Lee himself, says, interesting. Oh, you fucktard, Lee. Commenting on that as being interesting when it's fucking you. And then Stephen Rowan says, yeah, that's what I meant. So, Stephen, you complained, why did I just show a snapshot of the other one? And I'm like, well, you know what? Here's another snapshot for us to contemplate over and decide. And the more snapshots I show of what happened that day in my chat, the more I think you're part of it. So you guys troll people and then you attach them through social media more personally in their lives. And underneath all of this, we're talking about missing little girls. Slander is the last Angel Power Disney who says she was hunted by. Midnight Rider says slander is the last refuge of these scandals. Yeah, it's not, you know what, honestly, and let me make this clear. It's not as much about the slander that bothers me, about like what they say about me. You know what I mean? It's like some of it's just absolute. Like I've had people talk about me online since I was on Last Comic Standing. All right. I had people say horrible things about me because people are going to do that. Like if you're in the public eye, people are going to talk about you and some of it's not going to be favorable. It's inevitable. It's just part of it. It comes with the territory, you know? I mean, the main thing is that, you know, you stand in your own, you know, truth or your own convictions or whatever. You can't, you know, some people though that are on YouTube maybe are not, this is new for them. They're not, like I say, when I say I'm strong, it's like, it's not that I'm worried about, like, if they slandered something about me that was going to ruin my character so bad, like seriously, I had to nip Sarah Rachel Adams in the bud, because when you start talking about rape and stuff like that, like she came in my chat and accused me of threatening to rape her. Those kind of things are on a whole nother level. You can't really ignore that. And that's something that could ruin a person's career, ruin their ability to get hired. You know, when people talk about people on the internet, it becomes a part of an algorithm. And, you know, search my name and you'll see that that what comes up is that I'm a comedian. Not that I have a show. I mean, you might find Not My Rabbit Hole, but you're not going to see UFO. Like, my branding is not this online. I have something else going on. I know a lot of you guys try to, you know, want to think that I don't, or, you know, she alleged whatever, alleged comedian, alleged, like she, you know, whatever you want to say about me publicly. But the fact of the matter is, you search my name, that's what shows up. And a lot of it shows up. Not just, you know, one or two links. And yeah, I am, why did I go back to college? I am branding myself again. There are things that I want to do with this channel that does not want to deal with this kind of shit or abuse. I am trying to do something. So in that sense, that's a legal offense. See, Sarah sits back, their argument is, they can slander me for doing shows about analyzing them. And they call that slander. It's not slander, guys, when you source your material. Also, it's not slander when you invite them to come on your show and talk about it and defend or clear up misunderstandings or whatever. And I do that. I don't just sit on my show and talk shit about people because I'm a troll or whatever, or a LARPer. I don't do that. I source my stuff with facts. And I contemplate and I'm careful about what I say and report on, or what my opinions are. I give a reason why I think something. When you watch a person when you watch Eva Moore Brockbrader say what she said about John Walsh, that's some serious shit to be saying. And it pokes the button that this media talks and follows. Now, if you want to think that Bill Brockbrader is credible because of the fact that maybe John Walsh is not really on the level as people say he is, and he's part of the elite, and whatever, and that exonerates him to be innocent, just like, I don't know, Captain Mark Richards is really a secret space program, but he really didn't mastermind the murder of somebody. If you want to believe the narrative that Carrie Cassidy, what she says is true, that's what they do to people that are in the secret space program, that's why whatever, and they're not running a scam. Hey, knock yourself out, right? But don't get in my fucking way. If I'm looking into stuff on my channel and trying to report it as fairly and objective as I can, to ask real questions, to follow real cases. Lee, it would be different if you were just like a little troll or whatever, but calling people and, and then doing what you're doing. What you're doing is criminal online. This is cyberbullying, guys. This is what it looks like. And it does affect people. And it does make them sick and destroy their lives. And I'm going to say, if I'm in a community, if I'm in this community with everybody else here, like C.W. Chanter says, then I think as a community, we shouldn't allow it to happen. That we should raise the bar. And then now I'm going to go about my day. It's noon here. And I'm gonna change the vibe. I got schoolwork to do, and I'll talk to you all later. Hey, before I go, hold on. Terry used to have that hairstyle. I don't think she's worried about strange comments. Yeah. All right. Bye.